a filmmaker, and I'm here with my new film, The Royal Road, just having the world premiere in the New Frontier section at Sundance.
Why use the story of the Camino Royal, to tell your story?
Right. Well, so as a filmmaker, I'm always interested in telling kind of undertold histories, things that people don't know as much about or should know more about. So with The Joy of Life, my film that was here 10 years ago, that topic was the history of suicide and the Golden Gate Bridge. And this time I picked the topic of the history of the Spanish colonization of California and the Mexican-American War, and which, as someone who I've lived in California for a little more than 20 years, and it's just always surprising to me that people don't really know that history very well. And so I wanted to tell that history, and then El Camino Real connects San Francisco and LA, and I did actually have a girlfriend in LA at one time, and so some of the writing is from that time, and it just seemed like this great device. If the film has a plot, that's it, of like kind of going from San Francisco to LA, pursuing this girl, but it was nice. It dovetailed as a historical subject with this kind of more emotionally resonant topic. And it's such a, incredibly important story of the history of this landscape. I'm super excited to be back here. This is my 5th film in the festival, and I've been coming here since 1996. And I also come here every year I also work for Wolf Video, which is the largest LGBT film distributor, and we're always looking for new films here. And it's just been an amazing time. The audiences here are great. We've had great Q&As and fantastic reviews. I got RogerEbert.com called it a masterpiece, which is probably what Roger would have said, So it's been very validating as an artist, and especially being in the New Frontier section, which has the most amazing work. So it's a great way to start off the Royal Road for the film.
Tell me a little bit about the story, and mostly the love stories. Why did you want to portray them this way?
I like that you phrased the question that way, that it's about love stories, and I think I'm also a bit of a poet in my writing. Like, I like to write poetry, and I like to write poetically, and so I think the film is a lot about kind of opening up to emotion, and that experience of pining or longing and desire. I think really opens us up, and I want to kind of open the audience up, and so a combination of the writing and this mode of longing of the character is meant to parallel this sense of longing in the landscape, and that you as a viewer start connecting with that and feel aware of that in yourself, and there's a kind of a sadness to it, kind of a melancholy, but not just that. I think there's a kind of a feeling of joy in the awareness of being alive, and that's part of being present. And so I have a whole spiritual, philosophical thing about that, and that's part of it. Well, I think it's particularly amazing timing. It's particularly amazing timing that Pope Francis announced last week that he plans to canonize Junipero Serra, who I consider to be the star of my film, even though he's been dead for 300 years. He has a really problematic legacy. And there's been talk for many years of the possibility of him becoming a saint, which, of course, particularly the Native American community objects to, because he really decimated, he was responsible for decimating the Native American population here. here in California. And anyway, so the timing of the Pope's announcement has been interesting with my film just coming out, and that's exactly what it deals with, is kind of saying, he's actually not such a great guy, and in fact, can be seen as a villain. In California, he really is, like, there's statues all over the place, and he's really, there is this valorizing of him officially within the state that's very problematic. So I'm particularly interested to have more conversations about that, and hope that the film will provoke more conversations about that.